Hello, everyone. Bill Molyneux here for Bill's Wargame World. And, well, this is it. Tonight, Tuesday, September 10th, is the great political debate between Vice President Harris and um, Trump. So, we do not do politics on either of my channels. We only care about history, promoting history, and wargaming. So, I'm going to be basing tons of figures and watching 55 Days at Peking. And we're going to do that tonight. And I'll post a video. I know a lot of you will be watching the debate, but we're going to do that. Next thing is I'm going to donate some games to the Braddock Battlefield History Center in Braddock, Pennsylvania, site of Braddock's defeat. They are doing a miniature war game diorama contest for the battle with 17 and under. I'm going to donate some of my French Indian war games as prizes for that cause. All right, the next thing is, excuse me, we are working on these figures, trying to get you to watch my channels because we are working towards Toys for Tots once again. And I'm at $22. We have until November 1st. I'm going to start gluing figures on boards, and we're going to chit chat. I'm going to set up 55 Days at Peking. So I always end my videos with stay safe, be kind, and be courteous. But this might be a long video, so I'm doing it now, and I will do it at the end. And George in New Jersey, I hope you watch too. All right, we're going to set up the camera and start working on gluing figures to bases and watching a movie. All right, everyone, we have 55 Days at Peking on, and it's a endless movie. My beautiful wife Lisa once said she was willing to watch a war movie, and I really, we never even got a third through it. I believe she wanted to look for, I think she wanted to dig a hole in the backyard and escape through a tunnel. All right. Well, we are going to start off with our dervishes, and then we're going to go on to the boxers. Now I'm going to try to separate my dervishes. These are mostly armies in plastic, and my plan is to do the sword figures separate from the other ones. So at least that's the plan. And have we're using E6000 once again, and so I will go ahead and start mounting the dervishes that are carrying swords and spears. Will be one batch, and our movie is going on forever. So the intro for 55 Days at Peking is quite long. The movie is about 3 hours long, I believe. So, and there's a couple versions. So, what is nice is if we spend 3 hours watching this, I doubt anyone would still be watching me glue figures down on bases. But if so, so be it. My wife is out of town, so that gives us more time for me to. I have a chore list though, so now my dervishes with weapons we're gluing here. And hopefully you guys and gals, really don't know how many uh, women watch my channel. Probably not too many. Probably would find it boring. But nonetheless, I do know there's more and more women wargaming. If you go to the board wargaming event that's held once a year near Fort Ligonier, the amount of female board gamers there is amazing. Truly is. So it's nice the hobby is expanding. And just waiting for the endless credits to get over with for this, so we can go on to 55 Days at Peking as we glue figures and have the movie playing. And cool thing is, it's so we get another armful of figures here. They're endless. So when it comes to 55 Days at Peking, I'm going to talk about the movie as if you haven't seen it. And it was filmed in Spain. And when they put out the advertisements that they needed Chinese extras, 3,000 to 4,000 minimal, it caused huge issues all through Europe for both restaurants and dry cleaners to have everybody quit their regular jobs and came to the movies. So they're now seeing Peking, and we're getting our introduction, the intro, and very, very neat in this movie how they came. I've read a lot of books on 55 Days at Peking, played a giant game of it in school on a gymnasium floor, and I've run a lot of miniature war games in different scales of the Box Rebellion. Mark Fostaso has a great Box Rebellion scenario book that is for his sword and for the Sword and the Flame system. As I keep gluing along here, the amount of dervishes. By the way, these dervishes were painted by Jim Shaw for the most part. Now, they're too well painted for me to do these. So we have our different European nations here all gathered up, trying to divvy up China. This Charlton Heston is a real kick-ass major in this movie. Charlton Heston, Major Dundee, Three Musketeers, Four Musketeers. Moses, Planet of the Apes, as Dan Monroe would say. How cool is that? If you haven't seen Dan Monroe's YouTube channel, you have to check it out. No, but these dervishes are going to look pretty darn good. Oh, so now our Chinese peasants are complaining that the Europeans have taken over their city. Oh, I find it intriguing that for some reason Japan modernized quite quickly, um, but uh, China did not. It stayed, um, I don't know what you want to call it, the 1600s. So they stayed in the dark technology wise, and there's several 55 days at type Peking board games. I considered making one myself, but a lot of people don't realize to produce a board game costs money. Um, so between the artist and everything else, there's Prince Tuan. Now that little Prince Tuan dude is quite famous in the movie world. So who has seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? So the actor in Prince Tuan is the same actor who is the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's right. So after the castle falls in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and there's a uprising there in Bavaria or wherever the heck that place was. Prince Tuan, I guess, I don't know if he would leave the time era, if he would be leaving China and going to become a child catcher in Chi Chi Bang Bang or vice versa. So, um, but either way, it's a just fun chit chat. So Prince Tuan is talking to Her Majesty, the Empress Douglas, and boy, that clinky sound, I bet, going to be bad on the microphone. Sorry about that, everyone. Well, she has a saying here that the arguing between my prince and my general is ruining the tranquility of the day. I think that's a cool line. But, oh, need to switch this out for this one. And George in New Jersey, Ronald McDonald in England, and everybody else, whoever might be watching this, you know, it's all for fun. You know, if I can get a few people to watch this video, and um, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for everyone that watches my channel. My goodness, there are so many wonderful YouTubers out there producing high quality videos. VA Travels, he does mostly bed and breakfasts and mansions and stuff, but he's a great YouTuber. Wonderful person. Met him several times. Big supporter of Goober the Traveling Bear. Oh, Goober the Traveling Bear calendar is out. You can find it on Bill Molyneux Games on the Blue Panther website, Blue Panther Publishing. My calendar is there, and the calendar this year is supporting Maryland veterans. It's been vetted very well. It has no issues with dates or anything. We had a couple hiccups in the last calendar. We have to move forward and not think negative. So the Maryland Veterans Museum in La Plata, Maryland, is where the money is going. And I also was able to get them cheaper at $5 less than last year. So I'm really hoping to get the same amount or more than I got last year from sales of last year. So if you have $15, that's all they are. Buy a Goober calendar, and they help support a museum. And of course, if you watch my Facebook page, whenever I make my monthly donations to a historic site, I really make sure that I let everyone know, so you know that the money that I'm making off of my donation stuff, such as this video, is actually getting to somebody. And now, here we have Charlton Heston, and he's discussing a few words in Chinese. So, a couple words in Chinese goes a long way. The word for yes is shit. The word for no is bullshit. So, I find that quite humorous. That so this is where he's going to encounter the Christian missionary being tortured, which is quite sad. And I gotta say, Jim Shaw really outdid himself on these figures. Oh, as I just plug along, now Charlton Heston has come across the missionary that is being tortured. It's so the now he leaves his pistol behind, which is, I mean, he's in the oh, just real kick butt, you know. And what's neat also, when you think about this movie, this is all real people. This is not CGI computer stuff. This is the real thing with real actors, real firearms. So, all right. He's wheeling and dealing to save the missionary, but the missionary is dead. Now, this is the cool part. Oh, his sergeant shoots him. Shoots the Chinese sniper. Wow, that's not good, is it? All right. Well, that didn't take long, did it? We have that done. We have all of those done. And we have to glue. I have one base over here that needs two figures off to the right. So the sergeant's getting docked pay for the almost starting a an issue, I guess you could call that. Really happy with these basins. So now I need a couple liters. So we're going to go, let's see. Here's another sword figure. Sword figure. And then all right. And this figure here, I messed up on. We'll set him to the side. Let's take a look what I did close up. We're going to have these three figures be leaders. And we have all our dervishes done. Okay. Now, there's a neat scene here on our 55 days at Peking where Charlton Heston is handed a ton of mail, and he says, when you open a letter, you might have to read it and answer it. And he just goes ahead and throws all the mail away. Well, I'm going to set up the boxers next. And we'll continue with our gluing of figures and talking about 55 days at Peking. Welcome back, everyone. Well, Charlton Heston now is meeting the subplot of how she was married to a Russian, had an affair with a Chinese general. She has a super duper necklace, and it's just a lot of love story. So anyhow, we are going to start with one heck of a lot of boxers. Armies in plastic. Some of these were given to me by Dave Reiners, some by Jim Perky, and others I purchased. And there's a lot of them. So we're going to get these guys together and we have some Tiger Men, which we were going to make sure we keep off to the side as we are gluing. And so this is the cool part. We have Charlton Heston having to go visit the David Niven, who is the British ambassador, and he has a good role in this movie. Now, okay, here comes a cool scene where now the color sergeant, he's going up to the British embassy, I believe, here, and the color sergeant yells at the officer at the door or whatever that and the captain has a Chinese daughter too. Boy, these figures are so cool. There. Present arms. Now, I don't know if you could hear that, but that color sergeant's flipping out on his guards at the door for not presenting arms to the major when he showed up at the gate. It's just sort of cool. So, this is where David Niven will talk to Charlton Heston about trying to keep peace in Peking and not cause issues, which of course is very difficult to do. And then you got Prince Tuan, aka the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So David Niven, he's in some really good, interesting war movies. There's one with him and Cary Grant, or it's not Cary Grant. I'm sorry, but I'll remember who it is. But they're in their U.S. Army in the Philippines, and it's a really interesting movie for the time period and all. So my flag bearers will need to get worked a little bit. I don't believe these boxers have seen action in a couple years. With my wife being sick and just a lot of life issues. And also, I'm constantly changing things up. These are my boxers with guns. Don't have a lot of them, but we have a few. Put him back there, him up there. Okay. So how many boxers do we have? Righteous Harmonious Fists. Okay, so we're going back to our movie, and David Niven has got a tough job dealing with the all the different powers that are there. I think you got 8 or 9 nations, even French and Dutch and Italian. So it's not necessarily an easy task to keep the coalition together. Also, the Japanese and Russian are in this embassy together, and they freaking hate each other. So that's another hiccup in the world. So I've yet to find a Tiger Man. Tiger Men in the Box Rebellion are interesting. First of all, they wore little tiger suits and basically looked like a tiger. And then they had grappling hooks and chains. The concept was they could throw the chains and grappling hooks and trip up horses. So, sort of a unique idea. The Zulus, they were not overly happy with cavalry riding them down. They never came up with a way to defeat the cavalry. So David Niven's explaining to Charlton Heston that they all have to work together and be nice to the Chinese. And Charlton Heston's explaining how it's going to be hopeless. Jim Shaw and Josh and Tim of the old Gettysburg group, they run some neat Box Rebellion type games. I played in a couple that last Barrage. Speaking of barrage, just so you know, I will be there with my giant Fort William Henry on Saturday the 28th. Um, so we found our first Tigerman. There he is, wearing his tiger suit. I think he had to really be high on opium to go out public dressed in a giant tiger suit. But there's one heck of a lot of boxes. I got 2 tubs of these. I think I overdid it in the box rebellion for 54 millimeter scale. What do you think? I won several awards for my box rebellion games in the past, by the way, and very very cool. And how military history and miniature wargaming can combine to keep the memory of some of these battles and wars alive, so these fallen heroes aren't forgotten in that sense. You know that they're so now they go to the palace. I believe it's the big party, and let's see if you can. Yep. So they're going to the Prince Tuan Festival, and Prince Tuan. I don't have the volume turned up high on this, by the way, because I didn't want it to drown everything out. It's sometimes at a distance it will sound garbled. There. All right, as we continue our. Hey, we found a Japanese soldier. What do you think of that? I don't think these have been used since fall in of a couple years ago, or Historicon of a couple years ago. You know, we're the Charlton Heston is talking to all the fancy politicians, I guess you would call them, and so well, this is where they're going to bring in the boxers for the sword challenge. So Cisco and Ebert would, I don't know, the reviews weren't the best. You know, I think this movie is incredible. It's free on YouTube. And if you can, make sure you get the one that's clearly 3 hours long. If you're going to watch it, watch the full length version, get the full effect. Oh, we have our. So there is the Prince Tuan, who's super evil. So harmless vagabonds. So, Charlton Heston has to try to... Pretty amazing. So, Charlton Heston has his sword up to the belly of the big boxer, which is unfair. It's supposed to be the little dude. And of course, he has to kick the feet out from underneath him. So they got to play. All right. Let me put the cap on our glue and we'll review where we're at. And I gotta say, the sets in this movie were incredible. All right, so we have our Tiger Men built, and I still have more boxes to do. I'm going to pause the camera and get the table set for the next batch of boxers. Then I'm going to do Egyptians. All right, welcome back, everyone. The German missionary was just killed. Not good, not good. So, we're finishing off the last of the boxers. So we have the flags over here, which at some point I need to rework them. But that's a job for another day. I also have to check with Josh on my... That's a Prince Tuan figure. Oh. The German... So, we've come to talk to... So they're talking to Prince Tuan and the Empress. And, of course, it's not going to go good. So, now we have some leaders, and so Prince Tuan, as far as these flags go, I've got them glued down pretty good. So for tonight, we're just going to put them here and lay them down in the boxes. And here is our Prince Tuan figure. Again, painted by the great Jim Shaw. Now, what an amazing thing. So we have completed the boxers and Dervish. What I think I'll do next, I'm going to close this video out with stay safe, be kind, be courteous mode, upload it, and then we're going to do, guess what? We will set up and we will get the Egyptians and the 1890s British based up for video 2. All right, everyone. And once again, stay safe, be kind, be courteous. And I hope this we're going to come back to 55 days at Peking with the next batch of figures.